Okay. Hello, welcome, and thank you so much for tuning in to today's episode of the Research Spotlight. This is the show where we get to interact with researchers from all over the world. My name is Tisha, and today's conversation is with Dr. Daniel Adjei. Dr. Adjei is a research engineer at the Institut de Chimie Physique, Université Paris Saclay, CNRS, France. He holds a combined PhD in physics from the Czech Technical University in Prague, Military University of Technology, and King's College, London. He is experienced in radiolysis, radiobiology, radiation dosimetry and calibration, and laser plasma-based radiation sources. So thank you so much for joining me here, Dr. Daniel Adjei.
Yeah, thank you very much. I hope you can hear me well now.
Yes, loud and clearly.
Yeah, thank you. Sorry for the network problem.
Yeah, it's all right. It's all right. I believe you are doing very well this afternoon.
Yes.
Okay. So, Dr. Adjei, can you tell us a little bit more? I mean, we know that you are experienced in radiology, etc. But can you tell us a little bit more about yourself?
Okay. Can you see me? Oh,
No, I can see you and I can hear you also.
Okay. Well, my name is Daniel Adjei. The doctor is a title that I got as part of my career. So my mom named me and my dad named me Daniel Adjei. So, well, for little about myself, I had my bachelor degree from the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology in physics, but specialized in biomedical physics.
Wow.
And after which I proceeded on to a Master of Philosophy degree in radiation protection from the University of Ghana under the Graduate School of Nuclear and Allied Sciences, which is affiliated to the Ghana Atomic Energy Commission in Ghana. Fortunately, after my master degree, I was employed at the Radiation Protection Institute of the Ghana Atomic Energy Commission, and I was in charge of calibration of radiation sources and dosimetry. From there, within 2 years, I got a scholarship to pursue a PhD, a joint doctorate degree, funded by the European Union Erasmus Mundus program. And so I started at King's College London in the Department of Physics, and continued at the Military University of Technology in Poland and Czech Technical University in Czech Republic, Prague. So fortunately, in 2016, I got my PhD, and then I got an offer for postdoctorate studies, so which I came to France in 2016 to the Laboratoire d'Optique Appliquée, which is under the École Polytechnique in France, one of the big universities in France. And I was on a postdoc fellowship for 3 years in this institute. And before the 3 years even ended, I got another contract at the Université Paris Saclay. But then was Université Paris Sud, but now is Université Paris Saclay, as a research engineer working on the use of electron for radiolysis, for radiobiology, and many other applications. So probably in the course of it, I will explain what I've been doing in all the universities that I have studied.
Wow. Well, this is really great. Actually, I also studied medical physics at KNUST. So I think you're my senior.
Oh, yes. I finished in 2007. So.
Okay, I entered in 2008. So just a year after you completed, I entered.
Well, I was a TA from 2007 to 2008.
Okay. We started 2008. So just when you were done with your TA-ship. Okay, that's really great to know. So has this always been your childhood dream, or something specific influenced this career path?
As a Ghanaian, normally you don't have choices. You always go by what is normally given to you. But of course, this is something that I always anticipated, and it came to a reality. It hasn't been a smooth path, but it's been a very successful way. And I will share my experience. So nothing really influenced me. I only pursued what I have actually thought about, and I worked towards it. And I'm happy that I have come this far.
Wow. That's beautiful. You have already told us that you are into radiation, radiobiology, etc. But someone may be asking, what is this about? What's
Okay.
radiation? I mean, what exactly do you do?
Okay. First of all, I have a diverse knowledge for the fact that I studied in different, components, but all related to the use of radiation for cancer treatment. So my interest is always surrounded on how to have the best and optimized way of treating cancer. Basically, there are several ways of, treating cancer, either by chemical applications or by radiation applications. But in my context is the use of radiation, because most cancer treatments usually go, almost 70% of the cancer treatments are by radiation, the use of ionizing radiation. But of course, ionizing radiation also has some detrimental effects in its application. And so researchers and medical physicists are interested in trying to optimize the best option to treat only the cancer tumor without causing any damage to the nearby cells, to the nearby organs, and to healthy tissues. So the research and the use of radiation is to look at the basic mechanisms of radiation interaction with all these tumor cells and normal cells. And by so doing, we can model what is the best application to use the radiation for treatment. And so with the side, I do also simulation just to use models to understand what will happen in the human body, because we cannot just go into the human body to understand. So I do that. And in terms of radiolysis, we want to look at all the radical species that are created with the interaction of radiation with water molecule or with other molecular solvents. The reason is that in the radiation treatment, we have what we call the direct effect and the indirect effect. The indirect effect means that you create some radical species like OH radicals, peroxides, and several others. And these in turn interact with the tumor to cause the damage. So you need to go down to the physics and the chemistry, which we call the physicochemical stages of this, to understand perfectly how these radical species react with the other. And radiolysis offers you the opportunity to look at all this in terms of the basic units of the DNA. And so this is what we do. In addition to the simulation, in addition to studying interaction of radiation directly with cells and with small animals, to see before we go on to the clinical application. So it's called, when you want to use animal models, it's called a preclinical application of radiation, because it's not so easy to go directly on the human body.
Humans.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you.
Wow.
We can talk a lot, but I
Well,
guess
this is interesting. Thank you so much for explaining. I mean, explaining it in a language that all of us can understand. Yeah, thank you. So, do you work directly with patients, like cancer patients, or you do your stuff and then you communicate with doctors?
well, for the moment, well, in my internship and so on, I worked specifically in a radiotherapy before, but it is basically fundamental research.
Oh,
So
okay.
our publications, our research outputs are published, and then it becomes useful to the scientific community and can be translated onto the clinical applications. But Normally, you have to go through a lot of trials and research to understand perfectly before you can mount onto humans. So I don't interact at the moment with humans, but with the fundamental understanding. Yeah.
Okay, that's great to know. And what are some of the challenges that you have faced so far, and how did you overcome these challenges?
Challenges are always inevitable as humans, and they come even every day.
Yeah.
And one way or the other, we don't solve them. We rather escape them because there are certain challenges that are so difficult to solve.
Oh, yeah.
One thing that hits me so much during my career path is when I came to London for my PhD, and in the 7th month, my supervisor died.
Oh.
It was very disheartening.
Wow.
Because we had already made a lot of plans. We had established.
Hello, Dr. Daniel. Hello. I think there's a little problem with the connection again.
Yeah, I think we are back.
Yeah. Welcome back.
Something happened. So, in fact, it was a very tough time. Everything turned against me.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yes. And whenever, I am asked, I even get so, disturbed.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. I'm really sorry.
It's a very good question to ask. So, may the, Alan Michel, my professor, rest in perfect peace.
Amen.
But it's prepared me for the challenges ahead of life. It made me strong. It made me to understand that nothing is permanent.
Yeah.
And that I should work as much as I can. He was a very hardworking guy. And I had loved to continue to work with him. But our plans are not some things that are always to come through.
Yeah.
And so it was a big challenge. Of course, as a researcher, I face a lot of challenges in working with many people. I have been working in many international groups. So of course, sometimes you meet some people who will like you, who will not like you. Your ideas might not be accepted. Some people will look down upon you because of probably where you come from. Yeah, all these are minor challenges that can.
Yeah, but how did you deal with the loss of your supervisor? Did you have to get another supervisor and change topic completely, or you have to continue with where you left?
In fact, it took me almost a year to even reconcile with myself.
Wow.
So, but the good thing is that the scholarship package was made of a consortium. And as part of the consortium, I was supposed to go into these 3 universities, which is King's College London, Military University in Poland, and Czech Technical University in Prague. So immediately after all the struggles to see if there was a possibility to get somebody to continue with the supervision and so on, I still had time to go to these other universities called the host universities. And so, fortunately for me, I came out successfully with my PhD. I got several awards. I got 2 awards in the United States. I got an award in Czech Republic. I was highly everywhere. I mean, making presentations of my work and so on. So the toughness that I went through after the death of my supervisor has prepared me for this. So I am sad to say about that, but I'm happy that I have, developed myself through that. Yes.
Yeah, I can imagine how difficult that moment was like for you. So what motivated you to continue on pushing? I mean, someone would have given up, okay, but you didn't give up. You kept on pushing. What was the motivation?
In fact, there were a lot of people, and our colleagues, the Western people, were like, "Oh, why don't you stop and go home if you are getting so stressed?" But I said, I am a Ghanaian who does not even
We don't
understand
grow up
stress.
like
Who doesn't even understand stress?
that.
Nothing can kill me.
Yeah.
But one thing that pushed me was that I would not go home empty-handed. And the empty-handed means going home without a PhD was impossible for me. So I would do everything to get what I came for. And this is what motivated me. It hasn't been a smooth path at all.
Mm.
Because imagine moving from the UK, coming to Poland, where I couldn't understand any Polish language. But
Yeah.
I prepared my mind that if that will offer me the opportunity, why not?
Mm.
And probably I would have regretted if I had thought that remaining in the UK was the only option.
Yeah.
And when I came, because I had already spent years in the UK, and the funding was only for 3 years, I had only 1 and few months to
Like,
work to add up to what I got from the UK to
mm.
finish my PhD.
Wow.
So it wasn't so easy. And I was working even up to midnight. In addition to going for a lot of conferences, I
Mm.
attended almost about 25 conferences. I attended a lot of training programs just to develop myself for the task ahead of me. And of course, I took an extension after the 3 years. So I took, because of what happened, I took extra 6 months to finish everything. But I'm happy that I was very successful, but the route was not easy.
Easy. Wow. It's good to know that you didn't give up. How do you feel right now? Fulfilled, right?
As I had already mentioned, that I would have been disappointed if I had given up.
Up. Yeah.
So
So
it means I feel more fulfilled.
fulfilled. That's good to know. You've mentioned attending conferences, writing papers, and all that. So, what is a day like in the life of a researcher?
Well, our days are the same as any, but who is committed to his work. If you are committed, the days are busy. And it's the same for us and for many, probably other professions. Um, the research work is such that you spend much of the time in the lab, but what you get in the lab is not known if it's not published. So you come back home to rather analyze your data instead of resting, instead of spending time with your family. And
Yeah.
then in our case, you would rather come back home to analyze your data to be
Mm.
sure what you did today, you can continue tomorrow.
Mm.
So basically, you don't have time. But of course, it comes down to time management. You
Yeah.
have to find a way to compromise. I have a family. I have children, 4 children. I have my wife, and I still spend quality time with them.
How do you do that?
So I try to keep my work as it is and to keep my family also as it should be. It's not so easy. For instance, sometimes you come home, you definitely have to continue working from home, but you need to still spend a little time with the children to make sure they sleep before you go back again to your book. So
Yeah.
whenever you wake up, you are reading. Whenever you wake up, you are reading. So weekend, you want to, buy some things and still read. So it's like there is no gap for you to do things that are not relevant. So everything is more planned, precise, and you work within the time. Because if
I
you
think,
don't...
sorry, I think this kind of lifestyle makes you stay focused, right?
Yes, but if you don't plan it well, you'll not be sociable. And we are humans. We have to still enjoy the social life. We have to enjoy our, family life as well. And so you have to always. From here, I'm going for a funeral,
Yeah.
So you have to balance all this. In addition to going to church and all other things, I organize parties. I like partying a lot. So I do organize parties for students who are here to come and enjoy, just to prepare me to be part of the world.
Yeah.
So in addition to just being busy with all the academics, you ought to prepare yourself to also interact with the community, to interact with people. Else, your whole life will be research,
Research.
and you will die, and the research will still go on.
Yeah, that's very true. You will die, and then the research will still go on. Yeah.
Yes.
So you mentioned that as a researcher, you spend most of your time in the laboratory, but it doesn't end there because you have to publish.
Exactly.
Right? People should know what you are doing. Can you tell us a bit about that? What goes on in publishing an academic paper?
Well, academic papers as a scientist is what defines you. Without publications, nobody will know what you have really done. But it takes time. Sometimes, after establishing your data, it even needs time to think and interpret your data. What the data is about, why the data, how can it, affect the community that you are researching in and other communities. So you have to, after getting all this data, you need to, interpret them. And even having interpreted them, you need to write. And writing, some people are very prolific. They are prolific writers. They can write very well. Some of us, we cannot write too much. We can have the idea here, but putting it into writing can be difficult.
Yeah.
So it would take me maybe 5 months, 6 months to write a paper. But it would take somebody just few, days or few months to write almost the same paper. That is why collaborating with other groups and researchers is important. So normally with all papers, you see there are about 5, 10 people as authors. That gives them the opportunity to also read, to participate in the research, and to read and correct. So publishing, you are not in isolation. You work with a group. But I tell you, having the results can take about 1 to 2 years to publish that paper. Because even after you have submitted it, it has to go through review, because whatever you publish as a scientist is not just writing something. People must validate what you have written, your data, to be sure that yes, indeed, it is repeatable somewhere and it can be used or applied in any field of interest. So writing paper is really huge, but that defines you as a scientist.
Yeah. Yeah, writing papers defines you as a scientist or as a researcher. So I can imagine that it's not really an easy thing being a
At all.
researcher. So what should upcoming researchers have in mind?
Well, they should know that they are entering into a very challenging profession, but very interesting. You must first of all have the interest to do research, because you always aspire to know something, to understand the basics of something. If you don't have that motivation that, okay, I want to discover why this happens, and you don't see things and just bypass, you don't go into, I always tell my students that you don't go to sit in the train and the train takes you somewhere without understanding why the train is moving.
Yeah.
You don't eat anything and just eat it just because we're hungry. You have to be curious to understand why I'm eating this, why this light is here, why this water. And then, having asked why, you have to think about your environment to know, okay, if this was applied in this way, why can't I apply it in other way? So as a scientist, you are always looking for problems to solve. So these are the questions that must come in your mind and develop an interest that, okay, I will ask myself questions and I will see how I can provide solutions to these questions. And prepare your mind. It's a very challenging field, but very interesting, and you will enjoy being a researcher.
A researcher. Wow, great. Thank you for these nuggets, Dr. Daniel Adjei. So, Doc, do you have a mentor or someone that you look up to?
Well, personally, in fact, I have not chosen a specific person to be my mentor, but I always aspire to be a great scientist. And there are several of them. So my motivation is that, okay, I should also become somebody in the near future, but not to be specific on a person. My probably reason is that we are humans. Each and every one has his own capability and capacity.
Yeah.
The moment you want to push yourself to be like somebody, you might not know what the person had gone through in reaching there. If you go through the same, you will cry. For instance, if you want to be like me and go through what I have gone through, you will not survive.
Yeah.
What is important is that do what you can, achieve the best, work hard, live life. If I say live life, I mean make sure that you work hard, but you live life like me. You practice more.
Yeah, that which is very important.
You enjoy small. Because after all, at the end of the day, your results might be positive. Your results can also be negative. We aspire to make positive impact on society in as much as we do our research. But at the same time, we have to understand that we can also get negative results. But live life, work hard. Thank you.
Wow, that's great. Dr. Daniel, Dr. Adjei.
Whatever.
Yeah, I know you are I don't know if I can say you're a French scientist or you work in France, but
France.
you are from Ghana, Africa. How do you see the current situation of research work in Africa, and what do you think can be done to make it better?
Well, I think Africa and Ghana is progressing small in the field of research. When I was in Ghana, we did research, but you don't get funding to continue with your research or to make you think in a broader perspective. So most people, I don't know the current situation, but most people are limited by funding. But recently there is a call for African researchers. It's called the African Research Initiative for Scientific Excellence. It's a pilot program which is in support by the European Union. So it means that yes, we are now, and they are supporting about 40 research works in Africa. And each research work will be funded by about 500,000 euros for a period of 5 years. So it's getting, grounds. Now people are beginning to understand that, yes, we have great scientists. Well, if you go abroad, you see all the great scientists, and most of them are from Ghana, from Africa. But why are we not doing the same back home? It's just because we don't have the funding.
The funding.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's not just because we don't have the knowledge, Not at all. Completely not at all. But it's just because we don't have the funding. Because we have many other problems that we think we need to solve it in any way without looking at the scientific aspect of it. However, we could have solved most of the problems if we have put money into science and technology. And this is where, sorry to say, most of our politicians are lacking.
Yeah.
Because solving any problem in the world goes with science and technology.
Science. Mm.
So I believe that with the resurgence of the interest in funding African researchers, we will reach the level that we want to go.
We aspire to reach.
Yes. Even the COVID situation must speak something into the minds of our African leaders.
Yeah.
That we need to be up and doing in terms of science and technology. During the COVID, I saw that there were very young guys who were able to develop devices that with all the sensors. So you place your hand, you have the soap. You place your hand, you have the water. Very synchronized. You have the soap. After a few minutes, you have the water to wash down.
Yeah.
This is very interesting. And these people are just on the street. Just on the street. Why have they hidden that knowledge? They don't have the ability, the strength, the money to encourage them to come out with the knowledge that is built in them.
Yeah.
And it will interest you to know that even some of them do not have degrees.
Yeah.
So it tells you who the African child is. So as leaders, as people of Africa, what are we doing to encourage our own, to build our own, to be strong, and to defend our continent? And science and technology is the route to that.
Yeah. Wow. Well, I hope that the stakeholders and I mean we'll get to hear or listen to this and do something about this. Yeah, with all these challenges, do you have plans of going back to settle permanently in Ghana?
Let me first of all say that I am already supporting in many of the activities in Ghana. Recently, I have won a grant, and my grant is to create a collaboration between some researchers in France and in Ghana, and to also highlight on some research activities in Ghana.
Wow.
So I got this funding from the French National Center for Scientific Research, which is the CNRS.
Yes.
And in 2022 February, I'm bringing researchers from France to Ghana to meet other researchers, to meet master students, to meet PhDs, and then on the table for 3 days, we are going to discuss how we can effectively collaborate and come out with research works. In addition to that, there will be 2 master students who will be selected to spend 6 months in France to do their research, to gain experience. It is believed that by the end of this workshop, we will come up with models, strategies to see how we can write for greater grants to support both here and in Ghana. And as I mentioned, I have also collaborated with my people back in Ghana to write a proposal for this Arise PP project that I have already mentioned about. And it's my ultimate aim that we win this project or proposal and develop the first ever proton research facility in Ghana.
Wow.
Which will serve us all good. And so if the evaluators even are hearing this, they should, grant us the opportunity So you don't necessarily have to be present in Ghana, but you have to have an influence on the
Yeah.
people. So moving permanently to Ghana and not being able to do anything for Ghana is not the point.
Yeah.
But staying here also and not doing anything for Ghana is also not the point. Then the key point is being able to use your influence here to support our people back home. And even when I go in February, I've already collected books from here where I will make a donation to the people in Ghana. So in a
Wow.
way, we are not there, but we are there.
You are there, yes. This is brilliant. I love this. This is really brilliant. Thank you so much, Dr. Daniel Adjei, for sharing your story with us and also for the great things you are doing. Though you are not living physically in Ghana, but you are doing a lot of things to impact. And we are very grateful for that. It's been a great afternoon listening to you. And so, what would be your final words to our viewers?
Well, I will want to say thank you for spending time with me. And I would have loved to share a lot, but of course, we don't have time. But then I would say that let's give priority to science and technology in Africa and in Ghana, my motherland. And we should understand that our people are competent, our people are capable, our people can change things. We don't have to always be looking elsewhere. All the things that we need are around us. There is always something that comes in mind. I went to the Royal Hospital in London, Royal London Hospital, and I saw the wheelchairs there. They were just made of wood with just wheels below. And I said, come on, these wheelchairs can easily be made by any carpenter man in Ghana.
Yeah.
So why are we struggling to get wheelchairs in Ghana? In addition, I always make a funny comment that everybody in Ghana sleeps on a bed, but we go to our hospitals and we don't have bed. Why? Do we? Of course, we need special beds to position patients and so on. But for normal sleeping places for patients, our woods are there. Our
Yeah.
carpenters are there. Why don't we make to cover at least those that are meant for normal sleeping in the hospitals? But we are still waiting to import special hospital beds
Beds.
we don't really need.
Wow. I
So
never I never thought of this.
if you're a
And
scientist, you think about that because you see problem and you have to find solutions.
solution, yeah.
So there are many, many things I can elaborate on, but we always want to go for some extra things that will not yield us any benefits. And then at the end of the day, we spend all our resources outside. And if the road, I always say that, if the road is good, you don't need a good car. You don't need an expensive car. Here, most of the cars are 30 years, 20 years, and they are using them.
Yeah.
But you buy a new car, because in Ghana, if you are buying a car, you are looking for 2018, 2017. And even your 2017, 2018 car will get destroyed in the next 5 years.
Yeah.
So are we doing ourselves good or bad? So instead of spending huge money on expensive cars, let's correct our roads and we will enjoy life. There is nothing in this Western world which is so exciting than being in Ghana,
Yeah.
except that we have not put our priorities right. And I encourage our people to make use of the things available there. The comment is not like, why are you there? The comment is like, make it accessible, make people know. Because somebody will question, but why are you here and you are not coming down? That's why I'm making this comment. It's not about coming down. It's about making things available, opening the minds of people to think in a broader perspective.
Yeah.
But not limited to one thing. If we do that, we will achieve the best. I send greetings to my family back in Ghana, my mother, my father, who are all at Domahinkro in the Burahavo region.
Oh, yeah.
I also greet my uncles all over in Ghana. And I greet all the people in the diaspora here in France and other parts of the world. And I say thank you also to you for the nice invitation. Inviting somebody like me who talks a lot.
I have enjoyed listening to you. Yeah.
Who talks a lot.
I also talk a lot. I love to talk, yeah.
And well, where probably I was too harsh, your viewers should probably forgive me. But sometimes it is what is in you that really comes out. And thank you also for the invitation once again.
Wow, great, Dr. Daniel Adjei. I'm sure another time we will invite you to come and share more, because I can see that you are really loaded with a lot of good stuff. So, yeah, unfortunately, we have to end, but another time we will invite you again to come and share a lot more.
Available. Yeah.
Thank you so much, and thank you, viewers, for staying tuned. See you in our next episode. Bye.
Bye.